All right, man. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video. And today we are back with a Pistons live stream. So I do appreciate everybody that will check in, watch the replay or watch it live. Let's get into it. Obviously we got a lot of different things that's going on with the Pistons. We have free agency coming up. We have the draft. There's going to be a lot of virtual meetings and probably not an opportunity for open workouts. We don't even know if the season is going to start or end. We got a lot of players like Sekou who's stuck in other countries where it's a travel ban going on right now, and they won't be able to make it back home anytime soon. So, it's a lot of different things going on in Piston land and NBA land right now. But I'm very, very excited about where the Pistons are. It's been the first time since we drafted Grant Hill that we will be rebuilding. Now people saying, what about the time we got Darko? Remember, that was with the Orlando Magic pick. So let's get into it. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those links are available in every video that I do. If you need to reach out, if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or you just want to chop it up, Twitter is the quickest way. But I do have IG, I do have Facebook. Want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal, links description. Best way to donate personally for me is to share the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, it's a great time to be a Piston fan. They finally starting over. We haven't started over since we got Grant Hill. That was the 90s. And obviously we had different players come through the door. We wasn't able to put the proper people around Grant Hill for him to be successful. And we got to continue to, put the proper people around whoever we're going to build around. We knew Andre Drummond wasn't the guy we was going to build around due to his inability to expand his offensive game or commit to being a dominant defensive player. We know we're not building around Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. Obviously, we know Blake is at the end of his career. His body is starting to break down. So he's just going to be part of that maturation process for the young guys that will come in that's already here. Derrick Rose, same thing, breaking down. He'll be part of the, maturation process. And I talk about getting a young point guard and why it's vital to get that person right now. So we just in a position where, we can do a lot of different things. One of the things we do need to do is actually hire a general manager or give Ed that title. That's just what we need to do. We need a general manager. Ed is just a senior advisor. He's supposed to advising over, whatever the general manager do, basically assisting him and grooming him. Malik Rose from the San Antonio Spurs and Lakers won championships, I think, with both. Is the assistant GM. We don't have a GM. So we do need to kind of feel that if Ed is going to be the GM, give him the title. If you want Malik to be the GM, give him the title. That is how, competent and successful organizations are built. They're built from the top on to the bottom, not the other way around. So you got to have an owner that's willing to spend, that's willing to stay out the way. They got that type of guy. I think Tom Gores is really understood now. We moved to Detroit. I gave up the parking and the concession money I was getting to take the team to Detroit. I took a loss as far as that go. Now I'm sharing the parking money with different companies and stuff of that nature. Now I think he said, you know what? We not going to just throw no bullshit in the oven and call it a feast. Now what we going to do is we're going to prep. We're going to build this team from the ground up. And when Milwaukee lose Giannis, you know what I'm saying? And after that, it's really no dominant team in the East with Toronto kind of losing Kawhi. They still a really good team. But who the other dominant team in the East? Are you scared of Philly? Philly, they got a point guard that's scared to shoot and a big man that's scared to stay in shape and stop eating that Taco Bell and McDonald's. Toronto could be a really young team, but it's not a dominant team like the Celtics, like the Pistons, like the Nets at one time, or like LeBron ruled over the East with Miami, or ruled over with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay? It's not a dominant team. So, with that being said, it's complete. It's open. It's open. If you can build a team in the next 5 to 7 years, you can be that next young team coming up in the East. And I think they picked the right time to do it. Should they have done it with Stan Van Gundy? Absolutely. They should have done it years ago. But instead, Stan wanted to get Reggie Jackson, which we all knew wasn't a good ball player. You know, he wanted to, you know, kind of trade for Blake, and that kind of set us back. We should be in a position where we should have our talent and we should be on the up and up. All right? But that's not the case. Okay, to start off, we got 3 players I think we can build with. It's yet to be seen if we can build around them. It's Svi Malachi, Christian Woods, and Diambo. Those are the 3 guys that I think are staples right now. You know, those are the guys that's the core. You got the veteran players like Blake and Derrick Rose. That's not going nowhere. Derrick Rose is going to stay here until his contract up. Blake Griffin is going to stay here until his contract up or until they feel like buying him out, or it becomes an expiring contract and somebody want to take on that salary and give us something in return that we can use. So right now, those are your 5 immovable players. You're not moving those 5. Just not. Then you got Dwane Casey. It is what it is. If Diambo start making some fucking buckets, I'll learn his name. You got to earn your name. It was just like in high school. Fucking coach called you number 22 until you earned your fucking name. Till you wanted to be called Joey. You wanted to be called Mr. Robinson. You had to earn that name. Until then, you was just number fucking 22. So whatever fucking number Diambo is, until he fucking ball out, until he do something, I'm not going to learn his fucking name. Don't really care to know his fucking name. Now, if he come out here and he ball out and he be a fucking all-star, he put some numbers up, then we'll give him a nickname and we'll know his fucking name. People kill me with that. Not worried about no fucking scrubs. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a player who don't get no love from me, hanging on the bench with his side of Dwane Casey ass, trying to get his name right by me. No. Give a fuck about these motherfucking names. When these niggas start putting buckets up and they start carving their rolls out, you know, and they start winning something, they can earn their name. Derrick Rose, MVP. Hey, know his name. Blake Griffin, all-star. Know his name. Not concerned about these motherfucking names. Svi, Malachi, I don't give a fuck what his name is. He start fucking balling out and doing some shit, CJ learn his name. I don't give a fuck. Everybody want to be fucking philosophers and all this other shit, and these niggas don't even know when to use there, and they are. They don't even know no year. I ain't trying to hear it. Niggas killed me. Well, you need to fuck that. Do I look like Marv Albert? Do I look like fucking Chris Collinsworth? They paying me like Peyton fucking Manning to come in the booth for Tony Romo? Hell no. I don't know when the lottery is. They're probably going to push it back. I don't think they're going to start the season up. But now we got past that. No buckets, no name. We got to get them shirts going. No buckets, no name. I'm going to give the proceeds to Daryl Jones. But to continue on, because I don't give a fuck about these dudes' names unless they hoop. Christian Wood, he was fucking hooping last year. He earned his name. But you got to start off with Dwane Casey. Me personally, I don't like Dwane Casey. I ain't at a miss for no words. I ain't want him to get the job to begin with. I was an MAU Doka guy. He's still available too. That's the type of guy I was, because I felt that the Pistons should have rebuilt when they brought in the next coach. They was thinking about Beeline. Obviously, that didn't work out in Cleveland. They should have rebuilt. But I understood when they hired Dwane Casey, they wanted to throw it together and hopefully make one more run where we can make the playoffs, get some extra revenue, get on some national televised games. Cool with it. It didn't work. But the one thing that kind of burnt my toast with Dwane Casey was when he threw the fucking rookie under his bus. When he threw Sekou Diambo, I don't know his name. Diambe, I don't give a fuck. When he threw our version of Dikembe Mutombo under the bus, like he was just putting his personal business out there for no reason. Well, I think he having a hard time scoring with the groupies off the floor. Or I think he having a hard time, using the microwave to make noodles. Like, every little thing he did. Or I think he was late playing his Verizon bill. Like, he was throwing this kid under the bus. And then, if you paid attention, he was hoeing Christian Wood. It wasn't no reason why. It'll be situations, I swear to God, I watch these games. It got to the point where I watch these games. I would watch him. I wouldn't even talk about it no more because, oh, you a hater. You too hardcore. I watch these games, bro. And Dre are getting like foul trouble, or Dre need a breather, right? Dwane Casey will put in Thon Maker. Now, I wanted Thon Maker here. I thought Thon Maker would be the goods. He just ain't really materialized or really, matured into the player I thought he would be. Put some weight on. He seemed like he lost. It'd be times where he would refuse to play Christian Wood for no reason, bruh. I would just be sitting there like, and Christian Wood did play, he would get in some foul trouble, but Dwane Casey will keep him on a short rope. Who cares in the beginning of the season if Wood got 5 or 6 quick fouls? Who cares? You was playing Thon Maker more anyway. It was just some of the decisions that he made. He didn't really have no X's and O's for offense. All he was doing was telling them to jack up threes, isolation basketball. He didn't have no triangle. He didn't have no motion, no Princeton style offense. And obviously defensively, he wasn't getting through to the team where they played a lot better defense. So, like I said, man, through the season, I just grew uncomfortable and I grew just to dislike him. Like, he was overrated as a coach. I guess Nick Nurse was really the real deal Holyfield. The way he was doing Wood and the way his rotations were erratic. The only reason they played young guys is because Derrick Rose went down, Blake went down, and they traded Andre. You had to put a pistol to this man's head for him to play Wood. And guess what happened? You play Wood, he ball out. It's the same thing with Larry Brown, Rick Carlisle, Alvin Gentry, Doug Collins. You can name the list of coaches that coached in Detroit. For whatever reason it was, they refused to play the young guys. They refused to play the young guys. They didn't pull out Tayshaun out the deep freeze until T-Mac had us on the ropes. Aaron Aflalo went somewhere else and prospered for a minute. Chris Middleton went somewhere and prospered. Now prospering, now all-star. Spencer Dinwiddie they took a chance on him coming off an injury. He went somewhere and now he about to get the bag somewhere. He been balling out in Brooklyn. And to the point where they hurt Darko Milicic. I don't care what Darko said. Oh, Darko was willing to sit on the bench. Darko should have been playing. They should have been amping and stroking his ego to get him some confidence. This dude was a drunk on the bench. He was coming to practice drunk. He come on, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But it starts off with Dwane Casey. It's cool if they ride with Dwane Casey for a while. Because it's not going to be a championship caliber thing. It may be a situation where Rick Carlisle had to hand the baton off to Larry Brown. Rick Carlisle was another dude that wasn't liked. Remember that. Rick Carlisle was a guy that wasn't liked. He still ain't liked around the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Larry Brown had that mantra as well too. But you gotta have those phases, man. And when you're going through a championship phase, Wood start like last time we won a championship off this routine off this system was we drafted Isaiah. Eventually we made some moves. Vinny, Bill Laimbeer, we drafted Rodman, Sally, Rick Mahorn came here via trade. They drafted Joe Dumars. But it all started with getting it right with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah was a transcendent player. People forget Isaiah, I believe, was 19 years old when he won a national championship with Indiana. So when the Pistons are good and like going towards championship good, they got two things. They got a floor general and they got a protector of the paint. A true protector. Maybe Rick, Bill, Rodman kind of doing it all together, as a team. James Edwards doing it as a team. Or is it Ben Wallace securing the paint with Rasheed? And those when they really good. When they got those dudes. So we haven't had a good point guard since Chauncey left. Iverson didn't do well here. Favorite player of all time. Didn't pan out here at all. Brandon Jennings blew his Achilles out. He had the Pistons rolling, but he blew his Achilles out. Reggie Jackson was never meant to be here, and now we sitting here like we need a point guard. And it would have benefited Andre Drummond. It would have benefited Andre Drummond if he had a point guard. Because Drummond would have got easy buckets. Drummond, the game would have been easier. They just didn't have that facilitator or that floor general. Now you looking in the draft, you got some floor generals that can help you. You looking at free agency, you got some guys that can help you. You can got some guys that can play the Vinnie Johnson role, like Bojan Bojanovic from the Sacramento Kings. You got some guys in the draft from Cole Anthony to Killian to LaMelo Ball that can be the floor general. You know, are they Isaiah Thomas coming out of Indiana? Absolutely not. But nobody's a finished product at 18, 19, 20 years old. Isaiah Thomas was he was an anomaly coming into the league at the time. One too many guys, you know, as teenagers like Daryl Dawkins and Isaiah, you know, doing that in the 80s like that. They were, you know, the blip more than the trend. So you're looking at a situation where you need a point guard. That's when the Pistons always been great, when they had the floor general. You know, when you got Chauncey, was it because, you know, Chauncey had to go through his trials and tribulations? Absolutely. You know, getting drafted top 3, top 4. With Boston, he was a tremendous high school player in the Denver area. My father used to live up there. He used to tell me about him. You know, but eventually the game slowed down for Chauncey. And, you know, they was able to make, you know, wine out of sour grapes for him. It was able to click here. He was in a system that expectations wasn't high and, you know, he was comfortable in. So they have to have a point guard that can, you know, be what they need right now. That being Isaiah, is that being Stockton? Is that being Nash? Is it being the Russell Westbrook of today? Depends. It depends. You know, it depends on what type of style Casey gonna implement. Is he gonna be a little bit more softer or have more longer leash for his players? You know, you're looking at Cole Anthony. You know, is a guy that people don't talk about. Explosive guard. They say about 6'3". Pops is very bright. Think he was a millionaire before he stepped into the league. Was part of UNLV. He probably work hard. He know what it is to be a pro. UNC just had a bad year last year. Did it really amount to anything? No, because there was no tournament. There was no conference tournaments for the NCAA basketball. So Cole Anthony might be the more prepared as far as maturity. His father, you know, it was a solid player for the Portland, for the Knicks. He played a lot around the league. You know, Killian, his dad was a pro overseas, long guard, tall. You know, kind of where the NBA is going as a tweener. Seem to have good feel for facilitating. But the guy that probably makes it pop that I'm seeing, and I can find other players as I, you know, get into the draft spotlight hopefully this week. Maybe next week, the guy that actually pops as far as getting the Pistons syndicated across TV, getting be on national television, TNT, ESPN, NBA TV is LaMelo Ball. You know, that's the guy that kind of moves the needle as far as flash. But you just don't want to move the needle and the guy don't turn out to be what he's supposed to be, you know, what you want him to be. You want to get the pick right. But as far as LaMelo Ball, the length is there. You know, how long he is, you know, you just got to get him to be a willing defender. You know, his brother is a willing defender. So it's in the genetics. Lonzo can lock down with the best of them. You know, he truly can. I think LaMelo has that length. If you're able to, give me a minute. If you're able to develop Sekou Diambo, I don't give a fuck what his name is. But if you're able to develop Diambo, that's another long guy you got that can play the 2 or the 3. If you keep Christian Wood and you think, and we get there, you think he can do some things, he's another long guy there. You kind of want to go the Milwaukee route. Milwaukee is so long with Giannis and Middleton and, you know, DiVincenzo now, and Eric Bledsoe is above average as far as height for a point guard. You can switch all day. You know what I'm saying? The problem with Milwaukee is they don't really have the athleticism at the 5 spot. They don't have the AD. They don't have the Karl Anthony Towns. But that's okay. No championship team is perfect. But, you know, you looking at the length that you can get with LaMelo, Wood, and Diambo, that's incredible. It's a lot of length out there. You talking about switching. You can switch with no issue. if you can get LaMelo to commit defensively, if you can get Diambo to commit defensively and Wood, that's the thing about it. They young. You know, everybody want to score the points. Everybody want the highlight dunks, the highlight flash passes. You know, same thing with Killian. He's another long guy. That team has the potential to be long defensively. You know, that can be one of the, you know, the most talented Piston defensive bunches there is. But the question is, you also look at the top of the draft. You have the kid from Dayton, Obi. You have James Wiseman, who can play the 5. Do you look and you, or if you're in position to get Wiseman, and this is the question I got here, and I'll get to questions and answers towards the end. If you're in a position to get Wiseman, right, and let's say Wiseman, Killian, Cole Anthony, and it's a lot of guards in this draft, and you say, you know what, I rate Wiseman the best, or I rate them all the same. Is the Pistons in position to draft Wiseman and say Wiseman and Christian Wood can play together? That's the question. Can Wiseman and Christian Wood play together? Me personally, I think they could. Wiseman, I think he a left-handed. He got some raw skills around the bucket. Worst case scenario, he might be a more durable Nerlens Noel. But I think he'll be more of a defensive force and offensive force than Andre Drummond is. He got the block game for the most part. You know, he can shoot it a little bit from mid-range. He can defend. He can get up and down the floor. But his athleticism allows you to play with Christian Wood on the floor. Christian Wood athleticism and ability to switch. That'll be a nice paint job. That can kind of be like your Rasheed and Ben. But once again, who knows if you're going to be able to come across another point guard like LaMelo, like Killian, like Cole Anthony. Who knows? So, do you put more stock in taking Wiseman and saying we could play with Wood? Do you put stock and say, you know, maybe Obi the best player on our board and playing him? Or do you say, you know what, we need a point guard and we better and we got a point guard. And if this point guard is what we could believe him to be, may it be Anthony, Killian. You know, that's the question. Also, you got Anthony Edwards up there, who we didn't have guys like Anthony Edwards. You know, we didn't have Stuckey. We didn't have Jerry Stackhouse. You know, we didn't have the prolific scorers that played with the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Dantley. I think a lot of people continue to forget how good Adrian Dantley was. And, you know, when the Pistons need a bucket, it was either going to Dantley or Benjamin. And now, what's up? I was saying Benjamin. I'm reading the comment. Dantley or going to Vinnie Johnson. So, you know, a lot of people say, well, if the Pistons get number 1, we have had a history with our own picks. Our own picks have never moved up in the draft. So if we 5th right now, history says we're going to be 5th or lower. And we already know how the league is rigged. When Cleveland got the number 1 pick, 3 years in a row, we knew that was a gift for them losing LeBron James. We know that. Marvin, salute. So, like Jay Jefferson said, point guard is a must. Unless you believe another player is going to be a transcendent talent. If you believe Anthony Edwards is going to be Klay Thompson, if you believe he's going to be, you know, James Harden, you know, then, you know, you got to take him. You got to take him. But we didn't have guys like him. Stackhouse dropping 40, 30 points every now and again. Renardo to a salute. We didn't have those guys. Pistons at their best when they got that floor general there. But it depends on when you fall at in the draft. Wiseman, you know, I heard he number 1 on Golden State board along with another foreign guy. I heard he could be as low as the bottom of the lottery, 10. So it really depends, but I think LaMelo is the flashy pick. You know, I think he got everything to be a good pro. I think the will is there. I think the work ethic is there. I think the genetics is there. You don't have to worry about LeVar Ball as well. But the thing about the Pistons is this: when you draft people, it's this narrative that Detroit ain't a good place to play basketball at, but we ain't really lost too many people that came here at their prime that didn't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Through the bad boys, they all wanted to be here. The going to work Pistons wanted to be here. Grant Hill left because there was an inability to put people around him, but it was a great time for Grant for the most part. Jay Stackhouse, he just talked about how he didn't want to leave here. So not too many people truly want to leave Detroit. If they do want to leave, it's just an inability to win. But as far as the city, it's great for Pistons. But you know, the draft is going to be interesting because there probably won't be no physical workouts. There probably be virtual workouts. They won't be able to put dudes one-on-one against each other and have, I remember they worked out Luke Kennard, Donovan Mitchell, and somehow they drafted Luke Kennard, and I'll get to Luke Kennard for a minute. Stackhouse was wild. Somewhere in my storage, I got a fucking autograph from him. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that story right now, but I got an autograph from him and some Detroit Tigers. It's somewhere in my storage unit, man. And he punched Christian Laettner and all that other shit, man. But he said that he was mad that he left Detroit, but he was breaking some no game, no name facts. Like, are we gonna get them all going? I gotta hit my plug up, man. I ain't heard from him in a minute. So yeah, ball fills the stat sheet, but also, Wiseman also gives you that other dynamic that when the Pistons good, Wiseman give you the guy that can defend the paint. That's the difference too. So you gotta have both of them. But people say Christian Wood put some weight on. He can defend the paint. I would love to see them bring Ben Wallace on as assistant coach or a strength and conditioning coach. You know what I'm saying? But the Pistons in a good position. They got some decisions they have to make. But as far as the three, Svi, Diambo, Wood, those are the three I'm really looking at. We know Derrick and Blake not going nowhere. Tony Snell will probably be here because he got $11 million on the cap this year. I wouldn't mind bringing back Langston. I think Langston stepped his game up a lot last year. You need those shooters in the league. I wouldn't mind. And he seemed to be a really, really nice guy. I like Langston Galloway. Bruce Brown, I'm in the minority. I like Bruce Brown game. I just like to see them play him at the one. When he at the one, he's very effective. He can guard his position. He can fill the stat sheet. He just got to develop some type of offensive game. And that's, I think him working out with Tony Parker or looking at Tony Parker film will really benefit him. Parker didn't really have a jumper. He found out how to develop to finish at the rim. He created a floater for him, and also he destroyed the mid-range game, and that was Tony Parker's game. And then towards the end of his career, he stretched it out the three-point range. So Brown need to kind of learn how to finish at the rim, develop a floater, kill the mid-range game, and then eventually step out the three-point land. But his inability to be aggressive offensively, I think, is hurting him. But outside of those guys, I really wouldn't care who they let go and come. But I know some questions about Luke Kennard. I'm done. Birdman, I'm done or I'm finished. Luke Kennard has absolutely done nothing, but he only like 23 years old. But I usually say when dudes dealing with like tendonitis or nagging knee injuries like Luke Kennard, they usually don't get more healthier. Luke Kennard, when he aggressive, when Reggie Jackson wasn't there, he was playing more with Derrick Rose. He was more aggressive, but still, his game was still erratic. His game was still up and down as well. Luke Kennard is just another one of those Duke guys. I just don't like him. I don't like most Duke guys. Brandon Ingram kind of changed my perception a little bit. Even Kyrie Irving. I mean, this motherfucker more injured than Rosa Parks, walking up and down the street trying to jog when she 80 years old. He just injury prone. And Luke Kennard is the same way. They should have traded him a couple years ago when they could have got something from him. They probably still get something from him because he could shoot the ball, but Luke Kennard, they got to just let the other kids sit there and fill in that role. Svi, do I think the talent is there? Yeah, I think the talent is there. The ability to score the ball, shoot the ball, create his own shot. But the best ability is availability. And Luke Kennard don't have no availability. You know what I'm saying? He don't have no availability. So I would move on from him. The Knicks probably could use him. I mean, maybe you see a situation where you can trade him to the Knicks for Dennis Smith Jr. That's another injury-prone dude, but I don't know what's going on with him. Kevin Knox is another guy that, I thought was going to be very good out of Kentucky, but Dennis Smith Jr. was a guy I had my eye on, but he had his knee injuries himself, but explosive guy. If you don't draft a point guard, maybe he can step in for a minute and see if he got it or not. Veteran guy, maybe, Dwane Case can work his Kyle Lowry magic on him. But Dennis Smith Jr. got the entire package. It's just, Luka Doncic came in Dallas, and the Knicks is just like a black cloud. They basically let this dude sit the whole year, and that's good for him because he get to let his knee heal. But as far as Luke Kennard, it's time to move on. I mean, you can give me a nickel, you can give me a penny, you can give me a Canadian penny. I'm just trying to get rid of him at this point. He's just not. I mean, when you measure up to Donovan Mitchell, it's not fair. And he just been a failure. Imagine if we had Donovan Mitchell, this whole situation would be 100% different. It would. This whole situation would be 110% different. Donovan Mitchell at the wing or playing kind of that combo guard. I mean, I understand why they didn't draft him. A guy that probably didn't shoot well in college. A guy that really didn't have a true position, a one or a two, but he can defend. He can get to the rim, and he gonna be a perennial all-star at one point in his career. And it's sad that we didn't get that guy, but we passed up on a lot of guys. Man, the Knicks talking about getting Chris Paul probably rather sit in he'd probably rather sit in OKC. Kevin Knox just needed a fresh heart. I want Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is just not trying to go backwards. And when you talk about veterans that you actually want to bring in, we can get to veterans that's available and veterans that or that'd be free agents or veterans that's available for trade. I think that Stefanski, whatever his name is, I think he a better drafter than we had in the past, even with Joe Dumars, Jordan Bowers, and Stan Van Gundy. I think Diambo was a great pick. His only blemish was not taking what's his name, Kevin Long from USC last year. I don't care what his character issues say. But, when you look at a guy like Drew Holiday, he's not trying to go backwards. Drew Holiday's trying to win. This is a rebuild. Drew Holiday is not trying to, if he want to rebuild, he'll stay in New Orleans with Zion and, we talk about Brandon Ingram and Lonzo. He'll stay in New Orleans. If Drew Holiday is going to progress, if he's going to get moved or want to get moved, it's going to be a progression for him. It's going to be like to Golden State, to Los Angeles Clippers, Los Angeles Lakers. The bottom of the barrel is probably be a San Antonio Spurs type of situation, Portland, Denver, teams like that. Maybe Milwaukee if they can move for him. He's not going to want to be part of another rebuild. And that's just, you got to understand, in Philly, he didn't really win much. New Orleans, he didn't really win much. So, if you see him traded, it may be a situation where, he may end up on one of those closer to championship-like teams. Unless he just about his money. If he about his money, then, I'm not mad on him. But some of the guys that can be a free agent, I'll roll some names off. Gordon Hayward, he won't be one because he'll opt in. Paul Millsap, DeMar DeRozan, he got a player option. Otto Porter, player option. Andre Drummond said he will opt into his player option. Anthony Davis more than likely will be back in LA. Hassan Whiteside will probably be a free agent. He played pretty well this year. Nick Batum, player option, he'll opt in. Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Danilo Gallinari, Jeff Teague, Derrick Favors, Bismack Biyombo are all free agents. Tim Hardaway Jr. has a player option. He more than likely will opt in because he won't get 20 plus million nowhere else. Kent Bazemore, Evan Turner, Goran Dragic, all unrestricted free agents. Evan Fournier has a player option. Not sure how much his is worth. Tristan Thompson and Ian Imani from Washington, whatever his name is, unrestricted free agents. Club option on Bobby Portis and the Knicks. Marcus Morris, unrestricted free agent. James Johnson, Brandon Knight, Mason Plumlee, Jordan Clarkson, all unrestricted free agents. Kelly Olynyk has a player option. Not sure how much that's for. Courtney Lee, Solomon Hill, John Henson. So it's a lot of little different guys. Fran Van Fleet, Matthew Dellavedova, who is the Steph Curry, was the Steph Curry stopper they was calling him. Bojan Bojanovic, E'Twaun Moore, y'all favorite Piston has a player option. Contavious Caldwell Pope. Marvin Bagley has a club option already. He's a good player, just has some injury prone years. Davis Bertans from Washington, a white boy that can shoot it. DJ Augustine, he was a Piston before. Jay Crowder, Langston Galloway, Jabari Parker, Josh Jackson, he from Detroit, salute. Montrezl Harrell, All unrestricted free agent except for Jabari is got a player option. Brandon Ingram is a restricted free agent. We talk about him. Rodney Hood, player option. De'Aaron Fox, club option. So it's a lot of guys that's available, man. Chris Dunn, Justin Holiday, Alex Lynn, JaVale McGee has a player option. Stanley Johnson, your favorite Piston, has a player option. Trying to see if anything. Rajon Rondo, Kyle Korver, Tyson Chandler, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, y'all favorite Spartan, his sorry ass Denzel Valentine, Willie Cauley-Stein has a player option. Harry Giles been a guy linked to the Pistons. Michael Carter Williams, where he been at? So former Michigan guy Glenn Robinson III, Markieff Morris, who just left here. So there's some guys out there that could help the Pistons, some mid-level guys. One of the guys that I actually like is Bojan Bojanovic. Depending on how you want, he kind of remind you of a white Vinny Johnson. You know, his ability to get, he can go from 0 points to 50 points to 20 points like that. So Bojanovic can kind of be like your Vinny Johnson, Bobby Sura off the bench. He can get you a bucket. You just got to get him to commit on the defensive side of the floor. He can play some 1. He can play some 2. He a good ball handler. He shoot too much for my liking, but he kind of curved that last year. He can distribute. So that's one of the guys' games I really, really like is Bojanovic. I think with them playing Buddy Hield, he'll be on the market. He has some knee injuries as well. You also looking at a guy like Serge Ibaka. He's a guy that's probably going to get some looks because he can play the middle. But I think he wants to stay on a championship winning team. But, if he's looking for a huge payday, the Pistons kid give it to him. But I'm not a fan of that. Hassan Whiteside, I think he need to stay in a winning situation. Especially he one of those Andre Drummond types that need a point guard to kind of make him better. But he better defensively than Andre Drummond is. But he one of those guys I wouldn't throw the bag at. I wouldn't throw the bag at Paul Millsap. Otto Porter Jr., I wouldn't throw the bag at him if he opt out. DeMar DeRozan is an interesting player. I know him and Dwane Casey don't see eye to eye. So unless they get Dwane Casey out of there, I don't see him really coming here. But I don't think he a good fit anyway. I think he a good fit with somebody that's trying to be a championship contender. I mean, you can just keep going through the names, but the guy that I would actually throw the bag at, and I would try to max out is Brandon Ingram. I do think New Orleans will match that. That any deal for Brandon Ingram, I think they will. But I think if they smart, they kind of seeing like Ingram, Zion, Drew Holiday, and Lonzo is kind of taken away from their game. Ingram is probably at his best when Zion wasn't out there. When Zion came back, Ingram kind of didn't have as many big games as he did before. When Zion wasn't in there, Ingram was in full control. And also Lonzo was still dealing with that knee injury. When, Ingram was that guy controlling the point forward position and everything was flowing through Ingram, Ingram had tremendous numbers. Ingram is a guy who need the ball in his hand. He's a guy who can be the Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, point forward type of player. And I think Ingram is a guy, especially if you're not able to get a point guard, is a guy you should throw the money at. And if they want to match that offer, you should be willing to do a sign and trade. You should call New Orleans and do a sign and trade for him. I think that's the one guy that, as far as the big money players, I would throw money at. Just his talent. Like I said, I don't like dookies like that, but his talent is too good. You get an all-star talent who can fill it up. You know what I'm saying? He can fill up the stat sheet, rebounding. He got the ability to be a great defender. He can shoot it. He can score it. Some durability issues here and there, but I mean, they don't make NBA players like they used to anymore. So everybody's doing load management. So Ingram is a guy I love, especially if you don't get that point guard in the draft. You chose to go trade the pick, or you choose to get Wiseman or Obi or something like that. Ingram is somebody that you can let control and run the offense through and can handle the ball. And his length is another thing. Another guy that's 6'10", 6'11", you put with Diambo on the wings and Wood in the middle. Then you're looking at really, really long team. And if you're able to get LaMelo Ball with Ingram as well too, or Cole Anthony or Killian, then you win the game. That's a lot of length. You could switch. You're probably going to be one of the top defensive teams if Dwane Casey can bring it out of them. I think that's the really guy I'm looking at. Guys I really don't like, really don't care for Fred VanVleet. I think Fred VanVleet is good for what he do in Toronto, but he had a tremendous year when he was healthy last year. But I think Toronto is going to be willing to move on from him and not pay him because Norman Powell really emerged last year for them as a force off the bench, and I think they like what Norman Powell can do on both sides of the floor. Powell was a guy that he gave them what they thought Terrence Ross was going to get him up there. So Fred VanVleet would definitely be available, but he's just too short. He don't have a position. He can control the ball, he can score a bit, but when you go up against the longer defenders, he tend to struggle. But I just wouldn't throw no major money at him. If I can get him at 10 to 15 million a year, I would consider it. But I would consider Bojanovic before I considered Fred VanVleet. Bojanovic is another guy that is restricted as well. So those are just the guys I'm looking at. Other than bringing back Langston Galloway, would I like to bring in Josh Jackson? Double-edged sword here. You know what I'm saying? Double-edged sword here. Josh Jackson played very well when he came back from the G League. He did some great things for Memphis. The issue is he has some issues down there in Florida. He has some issues off the court, and that's the problem with him. You bring him back to Detroit, will he have some issues, coming back to his hometown? But as far as for the bang for your buck, tremendous player. When you let him have the ball in his hand, he don't have to battle with Devin Booker or TJ Warren in Phoenix. When he's a guy that got the ball in his hand, he can make some things happen. He could be your poor man's Brandon Ingram. He can defend, he can distribute, he can score. Shooting got to improve, but Josh Jackson is a really, really good player that if you mentor him the right way and you're able to stay on the right road, then you potentially still got all-star ability in him. So some of those guys you got to take a chance on. Guys like Josh Jackson, guys like Bojanovic, you got to take a chance on them. And hopefully they pop because the money is there. But other than that, it's really guys like Dario Saric. He had some issues health wise last year, but he's another guy that can stretch the floor out, who can shoot the ball a little bit. Rondé House Jefferson, he a dirty work type of guy. Kind of remind you of Junkyard Dog with a little bit more offense. Willie Cauley-Stein is a good backup to replace Andre Drummond to give you some depth to defend the paint, but he got a player option. He probably opt in. And then Torrey Craig from Denver. I like his game a lot. Great two-way player. Malik Beasley, another good two-way player. He's restricted with Torrey Craig. So Beasley and Craig are some dudes I would throw some money at. They both can defend. They both can get it. I think one of them kids that was with Denver last year was from Flint. I think Monty Morris, whatever his name was, either him or Beasley for Flint. I can't really remember. But there's some good players out there, man. So Malachi got a club option on him. They probably picked that up. That's and then you got the kid from New York, Damian Dotson. I like his game a lot too when they let him play. So there's some good guys to fill out the roster with. And Gary Payton II had some good play last year too. So I do think that. But he said Pistons should get John Wall credit. No, hell no. Nobody likes him on the Wizards. Brandon Ingram will stunt Zion's growth. I can see that happen. I think Zion and Lonzo got a great rapport, but Zion is a guy that don't need the ball as well. But it just seemed like Brandon Ingram and Zion, it don't really fit for them. And Herb say if we draft 5 to 10, we need to draft the kid from Israel. You talking about the kid that the Warriors like? I haven't seen him play, but I heard about him. Yeah, Monty Morris went to Iowa State. Yeah, that got to be him. I got to see him play, so I can't really speak on him. But I heard that he might be high on the Warriors board as well too. Him and James Wiseman pretty high on there. We should try to get Westbrook when they had a chance. Well, then they will be in a deeper hole than what they in now. They would have had to trade. They probably would have traded Drummond and Westbrook. So, like I said, I don't think it was gonna work. And Westbrook is a difficult player. He's a very, very difficult player, man. He a player that ain't going to win shit. Unless he changes his mentality. He won't win nothing. I thought they should have took a flyer on him, but he won't win nothing. And that's the God honest truth. If he in Oklahoma City, if he in Mars, if he on Monster Mountain, until he changes his mentality, he won't win anything. Or he has to become a better overall shooter. Very aggressive player, but like I said, the Pistons got a lot of options. One thing I don't want them to do, y'all can ask questions, I'll get to them now. I don't want them to overspend and fuck the cap back up for players that's not going to help them out. The only guy I'm spending major money on is Brandon Ingram. If Brandon Ingram, as far as free agent, not spending no major money on nobody else. I bring Wood back for the right price. I bring Ingram in, but other than the DeRozans, unless you tell me we can get Anthony Davis, which I don't see that pretty much happening. But other than that, I would just say no Ingram. I move on and I just try to build my team up. With guys that like Josh Jackson and Bojanovic and guys like that. So that's just my opinion on it. But you got any Piston related questions, I will answer them. He said Westbrook would have filled up the damn seats. Oh, yeah, he would have filled up the seats, but then he would have dealt with that long ass contract too. They already was dealing with Drummond contract. They always was dealing with Blake Griffin contract. That's a Reggie Jackson contract. So Houston would have had to take Reggie Jackson contract back. I mean, Oklahoma City would have taken that contract back, but it is what it is. I thought they should have took a chance on Westbrook too, but maybe dog right, he didn't want to play here. I don't want any 30+ year old big contract stars. This BS over. Agree. I don't know. The Warriors was looking at him. Would be a great fit for them too. Yeah, they were. They are. You talking about the Israel kid? Yeah, I read that like the other week. Ingram should be their number one option. Yeah, no, him. No option, I go Josh Jackson then. Ingram won't come to Detroit. Why wouldn't he? He had no choice. He's a restricted free agent. He in New Orleans. No offense to New Orleans, but it's a rebuild. He didn't want to go to New Orleans neither, did he? He has no choice. He ain't no unrestricted free agent. And ain't too many teams got the money the Pistons got neither. B.I. going back to New Orleans. I believe New Orleans will bring him back, but it ain't gonna fit. It wasn't fitting when Zion came back last year. His numbers started to fall down. That's just my opinion. And New Orleans is a cheap organization too, so I won't be surprised if Miss Benson don't pay him. I personally think the Pistons should get with a younger coach. I agree. I love Ime Udoka. As long as they don't bring that girl in, I don't think that's gonna work for Detroit. Becky Hammond, I'm good on the whole experience. We not about to be Sunset Park around this bitch, but yeah, some other good coaches out there as well. Said they need to flip Luke Kennard in our draft picks to get a first pick if we don't win the lottery. That ain't gonna be enough. That ain't gonna be enough. Depending on how high you is, I don't think it's gonna be enough. Cassius is a perfect fit. Cassius who? Cash and Winston is probably not even gonna be a start, not even be a pro. He probably won't even be a pro. I'm sorry. He'd be lucky to hang on in the G League. Casey's a little too old school for today's players. He hasn't won anything. Streetwise Television, Daryl said Brandon Ingram doesn't fit in New Orleans. No, he don't fit where they going, but hey, you don't want to let a talent like that walk. These free agents are just going to go which team pays them the most. Yeah, that's all kids do. But Ingram is restricted, so they can match any offer. Right, keep that female where she at. we really gonna be the laughing stock of the league. Not on Cassius, yes, on the Rockets. Watts 2001. Are you talking about Rocket Watts? Yeah, he all right. I ain't really watched Michigan State like that, but I heard about him in prep school. I think he played on the same team as LaMelo. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the rebuild, man. It's gonna be some tough times though when you're rebuilding with the Pistons, man. It is. But I think if they get some exciting players, they able to win the lottery or get a good player, it'll be something to look at, man. They be on the up and up. I do think, people talking about Jerry Stackhouse being the coach. Not sure how he did in Vanderbilt last year, man. I don't really hear much about him, but, Mark Jackson, David Finsdale still out there. Byron Scott still out there. Brian Shaw, he didn't get a fair shake in Denver, still out there. So it depends who they tend to bring here. I know I'm forgetting a lot of names. Should the Pistons build an Isaiah Thomas statue? Exactly, they should. How they expect other people to honor Isaiah and respect Isaiah when this organization don't respect him? He should be the first motherfucker to have a statue out there. You know what I'm saying? He beat. I've been saying this for years. He beat Magic. He beat Bird. He beat Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He's probably the greatest Detroit Piston in history. Why shouldn't he have one out there? Why shouldn't Eiserman have one out there? You know, they should be the first two to have a statue. It's a no-brainer. Man, I'm praying we luck out and getting the top 3 pick. Gen Z, he said, Benjamin said, I'm a Sparty fan. I hope Enzo don't get his hands on Imani Bates. He be taking 4 shots. Imani Bates going straight to the league. By the time he come out, they gonna make high school players draft eligible again. So he ain't going to college. Should we start number 45 every game next season? Who, Diambo? Depends. Depends where he is physically and mentally. Dodgers Rams say Pistons need to fire every. He said he need to fire every GM on the team, even the trainer. They're so garbage. We got a hater in the house. All right, says the Dodger fan. That choke, the motherfuckers will choke on a piece of rice. Clayton Kershaw chokes again. The Rams make it to the Super Bowl. They choke again. The rumor is the Patriots were spying on their practices where Jared Goff didn't know where to go with the ball. Stop it. Stop it. Before we make lamb chops around this motherfucker. Sorry ass Dodgers. They can't even get on. They can't even get over the hump. Yeah, Yasiel P. Got all these players over the years just choke. That's what y'all known as the LA Chokers. That's what y'all should be named as. Other than those Kings a couple years ago, y'all should be known as the LA Chokers. They should get a first 10,000 motherfucking LA Rams and Dodger fans chokers, neck chokers, just to represent what y'all been choking on y'all whole fucking careers. What y'all think about Obi Toppin? I'm hoping for Melo, but not sure he'll get that high. Yeah, I like him. Athletic, came out of nowhere. Isaiah is the best point guard ever in my opinion. Yeah, he up there. Oscar Magic is him. Yeah, I think he really up there. Imani Bates going straight to the league. Bam will be lifted. Yeah, he going straight to the league. Stackhouse won the G League championship in Toronto, and he helped develop Pascal Siakam. Yeah, he in Vanderbilt right now. Clayton Kershaw's Stafford brother. Explains a lot. He was the catcher. He said, didn't the Detroit Tigers have the worst record in? Yeah. So, hey, at least we don't make it all the way to the playoffs to choke on the grain of rice. Y'all make it all the way to the playoffs to choke. And I'd rather be building my farm system up than getting to the playoffs for no reason to let y'all goddamn fans down every year. I know Clayton is going to do it this year. I know Clayton. Come on, look at the Rams now. Them motherfuckers might win 5 games next year. Hey, Jared Goff, go to the Z receiver. Jared Goff don't even know where to go. No, he don't even know where to go with the ball at until Sean Payton tell him, or whatever his name is. Sean McVay tell him. This motherfucker Sean McVay tell him where to go with the ball. I can quarterback doing that. He's I want Tyreek. I don't know that dude named Melo. I don't know who Tyrese is. Clayton and Stafford are both losers. Clayton better at losing though. Pistons ain't been good since 2004. The Lakers ain't been good in a long time neither, nigga. Shit. Y'all still ain't made the playoffs since Kobe, fool. Y'all be killing me. Y'all still ain't made the playoffs. Y'all ain't made the playoffs in a minute neither. Y'all got LeBron and missed the playoffs. Come on. They got LeBron and missed the playoffs. How you do that, bro? How you do that there? LeBron and missed the playoffs, nigga. Oh my God, these niggas had LeBron and missed the playoffs. Wonder why Christmas missed us. No heat. Look here, man. Y'all don't even have y'all. The Rams not even y'all fucking team, nigga. They got them from St. Louis, man. You know, St. Louis stole them from y'all. Y'all had Jerome Bettis, but y'all ain't shit, man. Ain't the Raiders y'all team, man? Ain't the Raiders y'all team? LA just keep losing teams and shit. Y'all got the Chargers. Don't even talk to me, nigga. Don't even talk to me about the Chargers. You're talking about the LA lamb chops. The Dodgers. Yeah, they the LA Dodgers. They dodging World Series. The Dodgers. Them motherfuckers from Brooklyn. Look at LA, dog. Real talk. Talk about LA for a minute, bro. LA done stole the Lakers from fucking Minneapolis, right? That's a fact. Ain't no fucking lakes around fucking LA like that. The Minneapolis Lakers, that's where they got the name Lakers from. They stole the Lakers. They stole the Clippers from like Buffalo. They stole the Dodgers from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came. They ain't even got no original teams, bruh. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis then came and went They don't even keep. They can't even keep no teams, bro. They like a Kardashian. They can't even keep no man, bro. They can't keep no teams. They always leaving LA. Why? Why? The gangbangers? The gangbangers, the Crips and Bloods. Come on, man. LA can't even keep no team, bro. Come on, man. Fuck up out of here. LA can't even keep no team, bro. That's sad, man. That's sad. They can't keep no team, man. Ooh, man. They stole Kanye from Dang. They can't even keep no team. Any more questions, dog? This shit is comical, dog. This nigga coming here trying to trash the streaming. His city can't even keep a team, man. Get the fuck up out of here. Silicon Valley ass nigga, man. Everybody trying to read you, man. The Rams from they left and went to St. Louis, nigga. Who leave and go to St. Louis, nigga? Who leave to go to St. Louis for a Nelly concert? Chinky concert? Who leave to go to St. Louis, nigga? Oh, man. Who leave to go to St. Louis, though? I'm just saying. Who leave to go to St. Louis, man? Oh, shit, man. Fuck out of here, man. You had Prime, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, y'all do. Man, LA don't claim the Clippers, bro. They only claim the Clippers when the Lakers couldn't do shit, bro. That's a fact. St. Louis Rams is better than them. You ain't lying. Motherfuckers can't even keep a team. They ain't the Los Angeles Lakers that ain't got no lakes. They can't make this shit up, dog. At least the Pistons known for making motors and cars and shit. Y'all the Lakers and ain't got no lakes, man. Fuck up out of here. Y'all ain't even got Lake Minnetonka. You can't even baptize your players in Lake Minnetonka. That's back in Minnesota. They killing me. They be killing me, dog. He ain't got no lakes in LA, bro. Stop it. Them fucking Minnesota George Mikan team, man. I don't care, man. The Lakers ain't been good. They ain't made the playoffs in forever, bro. Stop playing with me. I ain't made in the league be helping y'all out, bro. The league stay helping the Lakers out. Come on, man. The league stay helping the Lakers out. Come on, man. Get the hell up out of here, man. They love helping the Lakers out. Somebody trying to hear that, bro. I don't care, man. They love helping y'all out. Don't forget who y'all greatest basketball player is, nigga. Where the fuck he come from, nigga? Magic Johnson, where he come from? Dodgers and Ram fan, where Magic from, bro? Let me know. Where Magic from? Where he from? Where Magic from? We don't give a fuck about no fucking Eminem. Tupac not from LA neither, nigga. He from New York. y'all keep stealing niggas, man. Tupac ain't from LA. Corrupt is from Philadelphia, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all only can claim Snoop. Next thing you know, Snoop birth certificate say he from Delaware. You never know. Stop playing. The greatest rapper from New York. Both of them. Christopher Wallace and Tupac Shakur. Neither one of them from LA. You better go dig up Eazy-E or some shit, man. You better go dig up Eazy-E. Who they want? Easy. Easy. Tupac got put on. Tupac didn't get put on in LA, nigga. Tupacalypse. None of them only album he had that sound like a West Coast album was All Eyes on Me, nigga. That's the only one. Tupacalypse, strictly for my niggas, Me Against the World. None of them motherfuckers sound like LA, bro. The only one that sound like LA was All Eyes on Me. You might can say Machiavelli, the 7 Day Theory, whatever the hell. You could probably say that may sound like a West Coast album, nigga. Stop it. Yeah, I love Cube. I ain't gonna front. Cube show real love, bro. I fuck with Cube. Yeah, Cube is underrated. I give you that. You know a little something. I fuck with Cube. So Train and lost they soul. Call it Train because the bitches look like hoes. I see a lot of others, damn, and almost look like the bandstand. They asked me, do I like Arsenio? And as much as the Bicentennial. I love Cube. All the shit. Detroit got better rappers than LA. I mean, shit, man, it's hard. It's hard in the rap game right now, bro. It's hard in the rap game. Rap game ain't got too many good rappers no more. LA like Detroit, they kill all they star rappers, nigga. All of them be gangbangers and shit. I like YG. I like Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I like Nipsey. I ain't gonna lie, I love the West Coast artists. You know, Oakland and Detroit is like cousins, dog. A lot of connections go on between our rap, and even in LA. You know what I'm saying? They all say LA and Detroit rappers sound proper. If you ever go down south, they all say we sound proper. So, when the rap game, we like cousins. Don't forget Big Sean from California too. He was born there. You know, LA, California, Detroit is like cousins, man. You Mozzie do shit with Detroit niggas. You know what I'm saying? Street Lord Channel Boys did shit with 40 and them. Yeah, man, it really ain't no static between California and Detroit rappers. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, if he say Tupac is a Detroit rapper, don't forget he did, I gotta get mine, I gotta get you. He did that with MC Breed and Flint. From Flint. RIP to MC Breed. It's a huge connection between Cali and Detroit. You can't even put them against each other. We like one and the same. Then you got the Cleveland Bone Thugs Harmony connection there. And they be going on Bone Thugs and Harmony 3-6 Mafia be getting it on at 9 p.m. It's either gonna be on Crazy Bone IG page or DJ Pauly. So, you know, tell me who better. Well, you got Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Jay Dilla was just as legendary as Dr. Dre damn near. Dr. Dre did a lot of shit for a long time, but Jay Dilla, he did shit with West Coast artists too. Dr. Dre is probably the best producer, but then again, a lot of beats that he produced, Scott Storch truly produced them. Jazzy Faye produced some of them. So Dr. Dre was taking credit for beats that he truly didn't produce neither, if you want to go there. So they both got legendary producers. Like I said, there ain't no point of putting California rap and Detroit and Michigan rap together. They one and the same, bro. Trying to tell you that. That's trying to tell you that it's the same shit. Both got proper rapping ass niggas. They don't have a New York accent. They don't have a motherfucking Southern accent. Trying to tell you. It ain't no point. It's too many connections there. Too many connections. The Midwest and Cali is connected, bro. They do a lot of work that people don't realize. For real. Don't matter what your beat costs. You got a motherfucker who made the designer Panda beat. He sold that shit for a stack. It's one of the hottest beats. Hell of a dude work in California too. Trying to tell y'all battling about who the best rappers, LA, California, Detroit. It don't really matter. It's one and the same. Who revived Dr. Dre's career? Eminem. Come on, I'm telling you, so many parallels, bro. There's no point of going back and forth. It's just too much connection, bro. E40 stay here all the time. Yeah, Barry Gordy was legendary, bro. Barry Gordy was legendary. Got a lot of great rappers, man. No, LA, they got, DJ Quick was a great producer. MC8, Compton's Most Wanted. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great, they both have the great in their own right. Great in their own right, bro. It's no point. You get Royce, Big Hurt. Shit. A lot of great rappers out here. Don't forget the Boss. She did some shit out there with Quick and them. She probably the greatest female rapper in Detroit history. Got a lot of good shit, man. No point. I can see if this nigga was going at New York niggas. Yeah, I get it. Are you going to Atlanta? I get it. Pistons need to trade a player to get another pick. I'm glad we back on that. If you trade another player, what player would bring a pick back? Is the question. And what pick you talking about? It's a deep draft. If you talking about a player, you got to start with Luke Kennard. If you trading a player, you got to start with Luke Kennard. But then who else you trading? Maybe Derrick Rose have some value. Blake don't have no value. You don't want to trade Wood, but if he want to go somewhere else, you probably sign and trade him. So truly forget. And you know what's gonna bite them in the ass to get back on rap? You know what's gonna bite them in the ass? Not taking that kid from USC last year. He played well in stretches. That's gonna hurt them. That's gonna hurt them. Him not picking that kid from USC last year is gonna hurt the Pistons. You know, I think they believe so much in Kyrie Thomas or Luke Kennard. I think they believe in those guys a lot. But it just didn't work out. And Luke Kennard looked pretty good, man. Luke Kennard looked good last year. At a point when Derrick Rose in there and Reggie wasn't in there, Luke Kennard looked pretty good, man. Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. I don't know why the fuck I just called him Kevin Long. Kevin Porter. I can never remember his name. They should have took that kid, man, but they didn't. That might set them back a season or two or half a season, so it may. But that kid can play. I don't know what Cleveland is doing. They got the kid Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, and Kevin Porter Jr. Now Andre gonna opt in. They got Kevin Love. I don't really see the vision, but you know I'm gonna do a lot more Piston streams, man. I'm gonna do a lot. Nah, he don't need a point guard first. He need a fucking orthopedist. Or, you know, he need a knee specialist or some shit. You get him a knee specialist. Shoot some of that Manny Pacquiao in his knee, you might have something. Y'all like Babyface, right? You go. Him, Payroll, my favorite. I listen to him the most. But yeah, let me get up out of here. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm going to do some more Piston streams, man. I'm going to start a Piston Live playlist, man. I might have some different things coming. So if you ever have a video request, or you want to do a collab video, or you want to come on at some point or come on to the podcast. I want to bring more people onto the podcast, man. Hit me up on Twitter. It's the fastest way. If you got the old email address, you can still hit me up there. I'm not giving it out no more. Instagram, Facebook, but probably Twitter and Facebook is the quickest way. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, if you want to sponsor on the channel, I got some good rates. I work with a few other people on my other channel. Check my other channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV. Other than that, man, want to donate, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to help me out is to share the video and yeah, share these streams, man. The more shares, the more love, the more I can continue to do them and make way for these type of streams. Lions, Piston streams, maybe do some Detroit news streams coming up. So we'll get into the draft spotlight and the free agent spotlight in the NBA pretty soon. Also, we'll get into the draft blast. I'll go back this year and look at some former Lions drafts and we'll grade them. I'll get into the Piston draft blast this summer as well. I haven't done those yet. Looking at previous Piston drafts. So we got a lot of things to keep the content flowing. We stay getting creative. When they don't make videos, we still making them. So jack of all trades. Appreciate the love, support. Keep sharing the videos, man. And shout out to everybody, man. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate the love. We gone.